La'a Kea in Hawaiian has many, many uses, including one for what you were just talking about when you're with someone who denies they have a particular feeling, but it is so strong that you begin to pick it up or copy it. What can you do? Well, in addition to just doing what it is to relax, this technique, which we also sometimes call either clouds of color or the light of harmony. Let me explain it a little bit. There's a very popular first aid spiritual technique called the white light of protection. How many people have heard that? Oh, yep, this kind of group it is. Okay. And this has been taught and is known around the world today. It's a good warrior technique. However, there's a catch. Most people are not skilled warriors. And here's what I mean. The idea is to put up a kind of a psychic shield that will protect you from negative energies, negative entities, whatever you consider negative. There's a problem with that. A trained warrior uses a shield as a tool. Most people are not trained warriors in that way, especially not with shields. And so when they put this shield, this light of protection up, they're doing it out of fear. See, a trained warrior is not using his shield out of fear. That's not going to be successful if he does that. But if you're putting up this protection because you're afraid of what you think are negative energies or whatever around you, then that fear is going to create tension in you, which is going to require a stronger shield, which is going to build more tension, which is going to require a stronger shield. I met one person in Los Angeles in the 1970s who had put up such a strong psychic shield around herself that she could not hear people speak. And that's all it was. Nothing wrong with her ears. It was this intense tension of fear that was putting up the shield.
That's why I don't like this technique.
That's right.
Because it cuts the
Exactly.
to the other person.
Exactly. It also, when it's used out of fear, it cuts off the relationship, cuts off the feelings, diminishes your awareness. Unless you're a trained warrior, it's okay for absolute emergencies, but on a regular basis, it's usually not very good, just because it has bad side effects. La'a Kea is a completely different concept coming out of Hawaiian tradition, in which you start with the same idea that you can project a field of energy around yourself. The difference is, this field of energy is an energy that harmonizes or transforms the rest of the energy around you. Just recently, I had a man who was bothered by what he considered were negative entities, and agreed that they were energy entities. And so I taught him how to do the La'a Kea. And what happens is, you imagine your aura, you breathe into it to strengthen it, like the pico pico from your navel. Inhale, exhale into your aura. And then you tell it what to do. You give it directions. In his case, the direction to be given was, when you become aware of that energy, transform it into something useful for me. All energy can be transformed into other kinds of energy. And the moment he did that, and he tried it, and it worked instantly. That experience that he had, that he interpreted as negative entities, was no longer a problem. Now let's give a demonstration. Is there anybody here who's sensitive to fluorescent lights? Patrick. All right, come on, Patrick. That's why he's sitting in between as many as possible over there. Okay. Now, right over here, in between, we're going to do a muscle test. A muscle test can be used for a lot of different purposes. Here we're going to use it to determine, first of all, his general strength, and second of all, his reaction to something in his environment. So put out your arm. And when I say hold, I want you to hold your arm out strong. Hold. Now, this guy works out. He's very tough. That's a strong arm. I could swing on it probably if I wanted to. Okay? Come on down. Let go. Okay. I'd like you to step out over here underneath this light. Hold on. Okay. All right. Put your arm out. Hold. And he was trying hard, he even grunted. Okay? Now, what I want you to do is imagine your aura around you. That's how you start. And you can do this with your eyes open. You don't have, because that'll be more handy. Okay? Now, inhale at your navel. And when you exhale, imagine that this is being filled with energy. A couple times. Okay? Now, tell it to harmonize your energy with the fluorescent energy so that there's no, so that you continue to feel good without any problem. Just give it that direction. Okay? Put your arm up. Hold. There's no weakness at all there. This is all you got to do from now on. When you practice putting up the light, telling it to harmonize, and that fluorescent energy is no longer going to be a problem for you. And after a while, your body will know how to do this automatically, and automatically you won't even have to think about it, and it just won't bother you anymore. Okay? All right. Good. Thank you. Okay. There's so many things you can do with this concept. Sometimes people feel fearful because of the feelings around someone else, or start to mimic the anger. The subconscious does it automatically. When you feel a sudden onset of emotion, like fear or anger, and you don't know why, it's very possible that your body has simply become aware of another field of fear or anger, and it doesn't even have to be close by. It could be a relative in another country who's experiencing it, or a friend someplace. It might be somebody in a room that you just walk into, but they're so good at hiding it you can't tell. Don't waste time trying to figure out where it comes from. There are so many possibilities. You'd be doing all of that stuff rather than getting well. Okay? Just get well. And the fastest way for this kind of thing is to imagine your aura, breathe into it, tell it to harmonize.